Well, hello there.
Hi there. Welcome
to Arternoon Tea, where the tagline is
the niche of the niche or niche. We like quiche.
We've got quiche. We've got cakes
by Tom's Cakes.
We've also got tea, but I've ran out of hands. Yemi, grab the tea. Grab the tea.
We got tea. We got tea.
We've got tea. And you are cordially invited to our lovely weekly Arternoon Tea party. Anyway, shall we get to introducing ourselves?
Start with introduction.
Why don't we start with you, Yemi?
My name is Yemi. I'm a film student, multicultural background, grew up in Beijing, China, go Beijingers, and love film. And that's about it. Wait, Alice, we have an Asian connection.
Daria just told us we got off track.
We got off track. Anyway, yes, crazy about film, and amazing friend to this lovely lady here.
No. Hello, my name is Alice Nguyen, and I'm from Vietnam, where 50% of the population is called Nguyen, and I will tell the story of why that is
Little
at
facts.
one point.
Facts.
At one point during this podcast, or maybe the next episode. I don't know, but I will tell it because I have a thing where I tell anecdotes to people, and I forget who I told those anecdotes to. And I end up telling the same anecdote to the same person 5 times. So if this happens in a podcast, Daria will cut it out in post. Anyway, I'm an illustration student at Anglia Ruskin, Cambridge School of Arts. John Ruskin represent. And
we're all third years. So this is our last uni year
together.
And we decided to do this podcast as a little diary so that we can keep track of all the weird, crazy conversations that we have. Mm-hmm. And also, don't know, just a little side project, a little exciting side project to bring some joy and creativity to this last year of university, because we will be having loads of nervous breakdowns, which we are already having.
Daria, behind the camera, already have 15 this week. Yeah. It's great.
Oh, fuck's sake!
Hello!
What the fuck?
I'm Daria. I came from behind the camera. Hi. I'm just here to be with these lovely girls.
Aww.
I don't have any Asian nor any ancestry from that region. I'm actually Romanian. I'm from Romania.
I'm technically not Chinese, so that works.
I mean, I'm not. You're a token Caucasian.
They're token Caucasian, Daria.
I study film and television production. I'm in my last year, and I love art too. And now I'm going to go back behind the camera. Bye.
Many thanks to our producer.
She does most of the stuff.
Yeah, we just talk.
She does most of the magic, which is on-screen talent. The only person who knows what she's doing right now is Daria.
And she's behind the camera.
So...
Do I?
But you know what? She works magic.
She works magic.
She fixes stuff in post.
No!
Yes, she does.
She fixes everything in post.
Trigger film and TV productions. Students!
You never fix it in post. You have to do it right.
Fix everything in post.
No!
It doesn't matter what you do on screen, because they're gonna fix everything in post. They're gonna cut, they're gonna slice, they're gonna CGI magic.
CGI like DC Comics.
That sound you just heard.
What?
Are film students all around the world just dropping dead. It's so triggered.
We just triggered.
I'm so sorry.
Millions of people at the same time. Well, this is a great first episode. But yeah, so the podcast is going to have a very simple structure where we open up, we talk about our week, we talk about great artistic discoveries of the week, and then we will focus on one broader theme.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into our main topic, because normally this first part will just be us catching up and see some news of the week, and this episode we've been mainly using that time to introduce ourselves, but I do want to squeeze in one news story that I just saw this morning, and it's amazing. And that is earlier today, or yesterday, depending on the time zone. Banksy
trolled the entire universe.
It was so good. For those who didn't know what happened, Banksy had he had a print of his famous girl with the red balloon image, a very iconic image. He did a print of it, and it was at auction at Sotheby's. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I had no idea.
It sold for more than £1 million. And the second after the gavel hit, and it was officially sold, the painting auto-destruct. It shredded itself. It completely destroyed. It destroyed itself.
Yeah, so shout out to all the daring artists.
Well done,
there.
Banksy. I appreciate it.
We applaud Banksy on this act.
Well done. We're so proud of you. I appreciated that a lot.
And we're very sorry for the person that had to pay more than £1 million.
I'm actually not
for
sorry.
shreds.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
Because art should be free, guys. God damn it. We went a little political out there.
Yemi, no, it should not. I need to eat.
Yeah,
Someone's gotta pay for the quiche.
You need socialism. Okay, no, we're going out.
Anyway, that's just a nugget of news for today. Why don't we head into our main theme of this episode? Debuts!
Because we are debuting our podcast, we thought it would be interesting and intelligent to talk about many artistic and awesome debuts out there that inspire us or inspired the art world.
Exactly. Or if they're just cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you start off again?
Well, I'm going to start off really personally and talk about Egon Schiele, who's an amazing, amazing artist, and who, well, started out as Gustav Klimt's freaking apprentice. So imagine starting out and you're the protege of one of the most amazing artists of the entire world.
Yeah.
And he definitely revolutionized the art scene because what he showed was absolutely unconventional, and he started out this new weird representation of what bodies were, of what nature was, just expressionism at its best. And he was a very misunderstood artist. Just he died without any recognition. He got so much trouble because he was basically people regarded him as a pornographer, which he is not. He is not. And this year is his centennial. So, little shout out to my favorite painting ever. And it's also my phone cover because he's absolutely amazing.
Yes. And if you can't see it, Daria will edit in the picture right here. And if she didn't, then if you seeing me doing this, that means she got fed up with me and didn't edit it in. But we'll include links to everything in the description because that's our job.
But yeah, so Alice, what's your take as an artist on Egon Schiele?
Interestingly, though, that you said Egon Schiele was Klimt's apprentice, because I did not know that.
You did. Actually, if you look at his early work, it genuinely looks like a Klimt.
But yeah, now that you said you can see, I can see the connection.
Yeah,
I can see the connection there. It makes sense. But yeah, he got such a big influence on the art world, because I'm studying at Cambridge School of Arts, which was set up by John Ruskin, who set up Cambridge School of Arts because he believed at the time that drawing he believes that drawing should be the core of everything artistic. Every artistic visual endeavor should start with the core of drawing, even if you can do the abstract painting, but it all needs to come back to drawing. He believes that's a fundamental. So he set up Cambridge School of Arts, and that tradition is now being upheld mainly by illustration students, because the fine art students get to do the conceptual stuff. So some of them do live drawing and whatnot, but
focus a lot on drawing
but the illustration students really focus on drawing. They really, really, really try to uphold it. So I'm trying my best to go to live drawing as much as I can. It's one of my personal goals for this year to go to live drawing religiously. And when you do life drawing, and when you get like amazing models, especially models with like dancerly backgrounds, then they can do some like extreme poses. Like
you would see some Schiele in there.
Sometimes you just see a pose. You're like, oh, everyone has like the little button at the back of their heads. The flips on. It's the Schiele button. So I'm gonna get old Schiele.
Schiele button.
I'm gonna get old Schiele up in this jazz.
It's like deformed bodies. Contorted.
Because like there's movement in his image.
There is.
Which is something that like every artist and illustrator tries to capture. Movement is such like a difficult, elusive beast to capture, but once you manage it, it's tasty. I want to bring up someone really quickly, just really quickly, because the man that I want to talk about is Albrecht Durer. And if you're an illustrator, a fine artist, you know Albrecht Durer. He is extraordinary. He's the man who was probably the first person to commercialize art and illustration. Okay. He had like the thing with he did a lot of carvings and a lot of engravings, a lot of printmaking. And the thing with those things is, back in the day as well, you're going to put out one piece of work and the workshop down the street is just going to reproduce it almost immediately. Okay. So he didn't like that. He was like, you buy my work from me. So he like set up a lawsuit and everything, but like that's a whole different topic. But he's like a master of the Northern Renaissance. He's a great man. Also got a massive ego. And that links into my favorite painting. not my favorite drawing of his, but just
a statement.
But just a favorite like little nugget of things is he did a self-portrait of himself, which will be here. Thanks, Daria. My favorite, it's his first drawing, what he did when he was 12 years old, or 13, depending on your source. And then later on, he came back and added in a little annotation that says, "This I drew myself from a looking glass in the year 1484, when I was still a child." He wrote it with such like pride. And if you've seen any other Albrecht Durer self-portrait, there's one, the very famous one. He painted himself to look like Jesus. He was posing like if you look from afar, you think that's a painting of Jesus, but no, it's a self-portrait. But I just love that amazing sense of self-confidence in your debut.
That is wow. Because not a lot of people can say that about their debut.
No, especially when you look back upon your work. How many times you look back upon your work and go, that is great.
Like, so many debuts are like The Room, you know? Like,
no, like, imagine
your debut is
just yourself.
The Room.
Just yourself. You look back at, like, the first short film you made.
Oh, my
Or if
God,
I look back at, like, some of the early drawings I made, I just go,
it's like, why would I ever do this? Oh, my God.
But, yeah, I just love the amazing, like, confidence. Like, yeah, I drew this as a child. And it is probably better than anything anyone else has ever made.
What a retrospective. Sassy.
Nice.
Sassy.
Move on from art.
Yes.
I'd like to talk about some debut books.
Talk to me, Alice.
Not yet. So I don't want to just talk about any debut books. I want to like really focus on, because there's some people who are really annoying.
What do you mean?
They'll just do. There are people who just do one book, and that's their first book, and that's their only book that they ever write, and they just nail it.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really annoying.
And you feel like a potato, and you're like, wow.
Yeah. Like, some examples: Sylvia Plath with The Bell Jar, Oscar Wilde with Portrait of Dorian Gray, Mary Shelley with Frankenstein. One novel, and you're revolutionizing the literary world. Drop pen, I'm out. I'm out.
Drop the pen.
People who slave over this, one novel, I'm done. But my favorite one novel, one hit wonder, is Wuthering Heights. Emily Bronte.
I agree. I fully agree.
I have a very specific relationship with that book, which is I hate all the characters. I think they're all assholes. Not one of them are likable. Not one of them is a decent human being. They're all awful. They are so despicable. Almost none of them have
examples to follow.
No,
that's for sure.
None of them are exemplary.
No.
You should never model anything upon their lives.
Yeah.
But it's a damn good book.
It is, man.
It's like, it hits you. It hits. I hate these people, but I love the story. It's so good.
Yeah.
Bronte.
Emily.
Shout
out to all the Emilys out there.
Yemi.
Yes. Alice.
We're gonna have to let her do it. Because she won't shut up.
Right. So,
So someone made a debut this year.
Yeah, this person made a debut this year in the literary world.
And Daria wants to talk about it. And
desperately. Daria, you have the floor.
So, Hank Green. I love this man. I love him so much. Like, he's been doing YouTube videos for like forever with his brother John Green, which you might know him because he wrote a lot of books.
Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, Paper Planes,
and I've always thought, when would his brother write a book? Because I'm like, I love him so much, I just want to see how he works with it. And now his book is out. This is actually, speaking of debuts, this is actually the first book I ever pre-ordered. Wow. I've never pre-ordered any book before.
A debut in pre-order.
Debut pre-order.
Yes, so...
That's how special we are. That's how special you are, Hank.
I didn't have time to read all of it. I just read like the first 50 pages. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing. And it's a sci-fi, and I love sci-fi. And it's just
which makes sense because Hank is a science man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can you briefly talk about what's the story about?
I don't really want to spoil.
No, just like a little...
What's the premise?
A synopsis.
Yeah. What can I say? There's so many things
read
I can
the back.
say about it. Okay, you want me to read the back?
Read the back.
If you come across an absolutely remarkable thing at 3 a.m. in New York City, would you keep walking or do the one thing that would change your life forever? I'm not that good at reading stuff. I'm not as good. So basically, there's this lovely story about this girl that with one of her best friends, they find out this like huge statue and they film it in the middle of the night. And apparently they were the first ones that documented these statues that appeared all around the world. So they become famous overnight. So it's not only is it a look on like news and stuff like that, but it's also a look on how it is to become famous and how you kind of spiral into that.
Damn.
And of course, like, that tied up with sci-fi, with like the story behind the statues. Yeah, it's amazing. I haven't read it all. I don't want any spoilers. But, I love this book.
Comment down below for any spoilers.
No!
I'm done.
The poor woman has to edit things in post. You don't need to add to her misery. Well, thank you, Daria.
Thank you very much for this.
And we might have a John Green discussion in a future episode.
We might.
Because we do have things to say about John Green.
Yeah.
But we shan't right now.
Let us know if you'd be interested in a John Green episode.
Yeah. Because we do have things to say about John Green.
We have loads of things to talk about.
Anywho.
But yeah.
Film lady.
Why
don't you enlighten us on some absolutely amazing... See what I did there? And some absolutely remarkable...
Debuts. Cinematic debuts. Well...
You already sold the rights to the film, by the way, I think.
Really?
I think so.
To who?
Hank Green. He already sold the film rights, I think.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Another Netflix film? Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, film lady, enlighten us.
I selected two very important film debuts. I mean, I think for me, I always go with the personal ones. Well, since we are students and we are talking about debuts, I would like to talk about two debuts of two filmmakers that basically started out as film students. So, number one, I'm going to go with chronological order. I'm going to talk about Charles Burnett, my man, Charles Burnett, who in 1978 released Killer Sheep, which is an absolutely amazing film.
Absolutely remarkable film.
Absolutely remarkable film. Because, well, for one, he submitted it as his thesis for his master's in fine art at UCLA.
Right, it's master for fine art.
Yeah, fine art.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Swear to God. It's the master of fine arts thesis. Okay. And because actually, like, if you watch it, it's like really
fine artsy.
It is fine artsy. Like it has this cinema verite style. It really looks like to neorealism. It's really like it's just a masterpiece. This film is a masterpiece. And if you think that this dude just came out of university and did it,
Yeah.
You feel like a potato next to him. And basically, this Charles Burnett, if there was no Charles Burnett, then there would be no African American independent cinema. You could forget about Spike Lee. You honestly could forget about him. And even Barry Jenkins later, there would be no Moonlight. Moonlight wouldn't have won the Oscar, and it probably would have been La La Land.
We're not going there this episode.
And but yeah, so this dude is absolutely incredible. It's 16mm, black and white, absolutely gorgeous. It was a magnificent soundtrack. Great actors, even though they weren't really professional actors. But yeah, it's very realistic, because it basically shows you this little neighborhood in Los Angeles after the Detroit riots and all that stuff, and it's really good. Great social commentary. Second debut, Damien freaking Chazelle, who debuted with Guy and Madeline on a park bench in 2009. And also that, it was his thesis film as an undergraduate at Harvard University. He did leave uni a while to do this film, but still, he was a uni student, and he made this absolutely gorgeous film. Also 16mm, also black and white. And it's an absolute tribute to jazz. It's like basically...
like the rest of his career.
I mean, yeah, but not really.
Right.
Because Whiplash focuses on the industry itself and the competitive and all of that.
Yeah, but it's still jazz.
Then, it is still jazz. Then La La Land, okay, it's more
about
like
the
musical.
Fantasy jazz.
It's more about
the
musical,
fantasy
the Broadway
of jazz.
musical.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's really like, the first gritty jazz that
Okay.
like bebop and all that stuff.
Okay.
And, well, since, I mean, it's absolutely crazy because it's his first film and he premiered it at Tribeca Film Festival. Because why the hell not?
Because why not?
Why the hell not? And yeah, it's actually a very gorgeous film.
Is it an absolutely remarkable film?
It is an absolutely remarkable film. And for those crazy La La Land fans, there are some bits of music that originally came from Guy and Madeline on a park bench. Because it was also his first collaboration with Justin Hurwitz, who composed the music for La La Land. And voila, this is my little cinematic moment, but we would like to attribute a couple of seconds of appreciation to the debut of debuts in the cinematic world.
The Citizen Kane of debuts.
The Citizen Kane of debuts.
Orson Welles.
With Citizen Kane.
Because who the fuck debut with Citizen Kane?
I mean...
Why?
I mean...
Why?
Potatoes.
All you mortals. Because... What? Why would you make your first film the best film of all time?
It's just...
What are we gonna do?
It's just...
That's done.
Nuts.
We peaked.
It's nuts.
We peaked.
And it's not even just about the story or whatever. It's also the innovation behind the film. Your first film innovates and brings innovation to a whole industry.
It's all downhill from here, Yemi.
Exactly. So I don't even know why we're studying art anyways, but great. Little moment of depression while we're at it.
Okay. Orson, I love you, and I hate you.
I love you. I can't wait to meet you up there because we have loads to discuss. But yeah, yes. So shout out to Orson Welles because he honestly just revolutionized an entire art with one film.
Of course. I hate you. Right, so guys, we've arrived at this part of our podcast that we call Shameless Shoutouts, where we have 1 minute to do as many shoutouts to as many people as possible. Are you ready?
Bring it on!
Are you ready to rumble? Okay. That's...
Who's starting?
You're starting.
I'm starting? Okay.
You're starting. Okay. Go!
Shout out to Next Move Art Society.
Thanks, Nancy. And shout out to Bob, who made us an intro, but we didn't use it. But he's got a debut album out called by the name Here Casino. It's great. It's called Go!
Shout out to Leopold Vernet Photography, my bro, who does the most amazing pictures ever. Go follow him on Instagram.
Also, shout out to Sophie Reverie, Sophie Milne, who almost made our intro, but then she didn't because she's busy. But she also got a debut album out, and it's called Sophie Reverie, called How Was Your Yesterday? This is playing. It's great. Go check it out.
And shout out to Florence Bernard, who does the most amazing music. She has at least one song out every goddamn week. Go follow her on SoundCloud. It's divine.
And finally, shout out to Beatrice Atunes, my best mate. Not my best mate, you're my best mate, Beatrice. And she is an amazing illustrator animator. We share the same course. And I don't know how to stop this!
Give it to me and talk.
She made the intro to Arternoon Tea within like one night. We love you, Beatrice, and she is an amazing illustrator animator. You should go check out her
the ukulele at the beginning,
it's
right?
so cute, and she's so good. She's not just a good musician, but artist and illustrator and animator, and she's also a dancer. Ridiculous woman. Okay,
great, man. And that was
Shameless Shoutout. Well, that was a great segue.
Yeah, since we had so many musical shoutouts, let's talk about music and musical debuts.
Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You start.
I'll start. So, we're counting debuts as a very broad spectrum because with music it's so confusing because sometimes you release stuff on SoundCloud first and sometimes you have this and then you have your first EP and so it's just your first anything that I count.
Any type of debut.
Yeah. So, my musical debut that I want to talk about is Greta Van Fleet. They're having their debut album out later this month, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they've had 2 EPs out, and they've got several singles out, and they sound absolutely bonkers. It's so good. It's like, you know when people keep saying rock and roll is dead?
Yeah.
They're trying to bring, they're one of the few people who's like trying to bring rock and roll back.
Nice.
And if you want like the point of reference, imagine just Led Zeppelin. because they sound like Led Zeppelin. But like, because it's their debut.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds bad that I say they sound like Led Zeppelin as a complimentary thing.
Well, I think it can go both ways, honestly, because sure they sound like Led Zeppelin, so it sounds like they're not original, but then if you get to that level, that is like huge. But
it's also their debut. Obviously, as time goes on, they will start
They need to
injecting
establish themselves as something, and then from that grow into their proper own genre and proper music.
Exactly, but also, as many people have pointed out, if you've got a voice that is like the voice of the lead singer of Greta Van Fleet, if you got that voice, you're almost legally contracted to sing Led Zeppelin style music. Because if you don't, it would be like a crying shame upon humanity. So, since Yemi has told me that she has heard of Greta Van Fleet, but's never actually given them a proper listen, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna play her Safari song by Greta Van Fleet, and then we can have Yemi's verdict afterward and see what she thinks.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Shall we? So,
I see what you're saying about you have the main singer has the same voice as the lead singer in
Robert Plant.
Exactly, as Led Zeppelin and all of that. And I see now your statement is like it sounds like Led Zeppelin. I think it's more of a compliment than anything.
Yeah.
Because this is on... Yeah, sure, you sound like Led Zeppelin, but...
Yeah.
It has that little something that goes over it. Like, it's a new type of
Led
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good. That's a debut album.
That's from their first EP.
Shit, that's really nice.
So there's still... so they've got a new single from their new album coming out, but I didn't play her that song because I think this one is cool. But that other song is also really good. Like, they know how to...
And honestly, it takes balls, like... doing this now.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, rock and roll is dead and all that. And, some people tried to.
Yeah.
But, to revive it. But honestly, this sounds like that pure old...
It sounds legit.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds it sounds from the heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, honestly, really Okay, now I'm gonna give it a listen.
I'm so excited. I have no idea. I'm so excited.
What's the story behind the name, though?
I don't know.
That's such a random...
It's a weird name. Is it Greta Van Fleet? I feel like because it's got that... Because they got that femme thing that Robert Plant had.
Yeah.
Like how, I'm about to film this amazing arena show that's going to be my iconic image for the rest of them. What should I do? I know, a blouse. But yeah, because they've got this femme thing going on, so it sort of fits them, which I like. But
so it is a weird name, but then you would associate it to the genre.
Yeah.
So if you had you think of Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, and all that stuff.
And that's Queens of the Stone Age.
Exactly.
Which is a bunch of dudes.
Exactly.
I think it works.
It's great though. But I know it's gonna be a weird a weird parallel, but it's really funny. It sounds like you know how Childish Gambino got his name,
right?
But basically he went on the Wu-Tang Clan. Awesome, by the way, awesome group. Who he went on the Wu-Tang name generator,
right?
Really? Yeah. He put his name in, he put Donald Glover in it, and it went Childish Gambino, and that became his stage name. So it sounds like, it's a weird name, but it also, it is part of that world, a part of that family.
It fits, it slots in nicely.
I find that absolutely amazing.
It rolls off the tongue.
Exactly.
Is Childish Gambino, Greta Van Fleet. Exactly. It rolls off the tongue. I think it works, and and they're all so young. They're so young. But I know all rock bands start young, but they're so young.
How old are they?
I don't know. I think they were like most rock. They started in 18, in the teens.
Yeah.
I think they're early 20s now. They're probably same age as us or something. But yeah, not only is the front man ridiculous Robert Plant man.
Yeah.
But also the guitarist is also He's really young now, but imagine once he's fully fledged, he's gonna give Jimmy Page a run for his money. I know that's a big statement, but holy shit!
We'll hold you to that statement.
Oh no, the second album is gonna be shit. And then I was like, Alice said he can't give Jimmy Page a run for his money.
Wish them all the best, honestly.
I'm so excited.
It takes balls to
it does.
Bring back a genre that has been neglected and usually referred to in older.
And it makes you feel good as well, because you always a lot of people like us tend to go, I was born the wrong time. I wish I was born back in the time when all this was starting. But now we have something that we're gonna grow up. And say, I was there when Greta Van Fleet first started. I was there when who's that director of Arrival? When Denis Villeneuve, I was there when he was at the top of his game. I was there when Damien Chazelle was top of his game. Yeah. I was there when
But it also feels great, when you see these artists that they are sort of, it's a tribute. I mean, what they're doing is a massive tribute, and it just makes you feel good that people are still regarding the past as something good. As a place of inspiration, instead of just focus on the future. Yeah, but there's a reason why we got to this point, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to take a look at the past and see what happened, what we did.
And you see with cool. Music all the time, they sample and it's a recycle, it's constant cycle. This is not, they didn't even sample this. Yeah. This just it gives a nod head to the old age, but there's still some fresh energy in there, which I'm really excited.
Shout out to the young artists out there that, they're tributing, but in their own way. They're not a rip-off. Mm-hmm. Which is the best thing that you can ever hope for.
Who's your musical debut of this year?
Well, it sort of goes in the same flow as yours, as in, people that are bringing back this genre. They're bringing back a genre, and then they're making it as their own. Mm-hmm. And for me, the musical debut of this year for me personally is Jorja Smith, with her debut album that came out this summer in June or July, something like that. And it's basically she is doing some R&B stuff. It is R&B, but it has that classical R&B, so you have some Lauryn Hill vibes, you have some early Alicia Keys vibe, which is absolutely gorgeous. And to that, she adds her own vocals, like serious vocals. They're like almost opera.
Right.
Like she can hit amazing notes.
Yeah.
So it has that extra lyricism to the R&B genre, you know.
Right.
Which is like R&B has a lot of there's a lot of singing, but it also feels a lot of like slam poetry and all of that.
Okay.
Whereas that she's making R&B sound more classical.
Right. That's
like it's not full on classical music, but it has that little vibe. Like you hear a little bit of her voice sounds like a piano, if it makes sense.
Wow.
And obviously, huge influence on her was Amy Winehouse. So she also has those jazzy vocals, those classic jazzy vocals.
Another great debut.
Which are,
Was Back
No, Frank.
No. Frank, yes.
Frank, man.
Frank.
Amy.
Amy.
Yeah, and so Jorja Smith, she is 21. Whew. Feel like a potato. I feel like a potato.
This whole episode is just us talking about people make us feel like potatoes.
She started out on SoundCloud, as many artists nowadays do.
Yeah.
Back in like 2016, she released the first EP called Project 11, which is really cool. It's only 4 songs, but there's this one song, Something in the Way, which is absolutely amazing. Listen to it. And yeah, so she had her EP on SoundCloud, and who discovered her? Drake.
Okay.
So it's just like, I mean, there's so much luck into it. It's just like, she was discovered by Drake, who gave her an interlude on his album, More Life, and then brought her on tour all over the world in 2017.
Yeah.
And that's how basically she reached this peak. And now, last summer, she released her album, and I'm going to see her concert next week. I'm so excited.
She's hyped.
It's crazy. I'm utterly fangirling for this girl because she's absolutely amazing. Her voice is magnificent. She's our age and she's so awesome.
She's our age.
She's genuinely our age.
She's
1 year older and she already has achieved so much.
and also make us feel.
I genuinely feel like a potato, but also like a physically potato because this woman is absolutely gorgeous. So like, apart from that. But really, this album is really cool. Because she's also not one of those... She's a very shy person.
Right.
Like, if you manage to see one of her interviews, such as, like, I think it was Apple Radio, or also the Nike ad that she did right now for Air Force, she just... Everything is genuine about her. Her music is genuine. Her lyrics are genuine. Her personality is genuine. She's just... really honest. She's like, this, I'm a girl from this tiny town in England. I started out pretty randomly on SoundCloud. All I know is that all I wanted to do was sing, and bam.
Nice.
And bam. So I honestly wish to see her blow up, like, globally. Because already, like, this summer I was really proud because I heard her on the radio in France, and I was like, whoa! What is she doing in France? And I got so excited. I was just like, what? You know, like, proud sister. I was like, go.
Here's a thought.
What?
This is something we can, like, it's like a test, like a litmus test, but for how hipster you are, because we are millennials. When you see, let's say when you see an artist who's really small.
Yeah.
And when you see they get big, do you go, yes, you go? Or is there a small part of you like, oh, I wish they remain my precious little secret?
I don't know. Honestly, I was really proud of, like, of Jorja. Because I think, first time I heard about her was, a year and a half ago. When she released this song called Beautiful Little Fools. And it's, like, a huge tribute to, like, The Great Gatsby and all that. That's when I discovered her. And I was like, wow. This woman is absolutely amazing. And I just wanted her to get the credit she deserved.
Yeah.
So now seeing her, like, how big she got, I'm actually, like, super proud.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy. But then it's same thing with, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of, like, artists.
I have one in mind.
Oh, there's Third Story. Do you know Third Story?
No.
They started out, like, sort of a cappella-ish group on YouTube. And then they released an EP, like, a year ago. Then they did a TEDx thing and everything. And they're honestly like so good, and I was so happy about them.
Do you have this fear that they might like change, that they might get too commercialized once they've been exposed? Because that's a very hipster thing to do.
They could, yeah, but
see, because I know I've had this discussion a lot with a friend who's also a very big music fan, and we have share the same feelings about Arctic Monkeys. But there's a very specific reason, because I'm open to artists growing and changing and adapting, because you can't see the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it gets boring for you when you lose your passion and stuff. Yeah, but the problem I had with Arctic Monkeys is their debut was it was like their thesis. It was like their manifesto.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we stand for.
Yeah.
This is what we're against. There's like you're not from New York. You're from Ross. So get off the bandwagon and put down the handbook. So that is like their big. Yeah, this is what we stand for. We are this. So it's almost like, and they did so well that they almost brand themselves to a corner. Mm-hmm. So now when I see Alex Turner doing his Elvis thing and with the new album and stuff, it feels just like they've turned into the thing that they were raging against in the first album, which I feel really torn about, because on one hand, yes, the band needs to evolve, and you discover new things. They live mainly in Los Angeles now, so they're going to take on that thing. But I feel like if they didn't come into the first album so strong with such a like strong ideology, I wouldn't mind that much. But because you establish yourself as that very specific thing, so now that you've become almost the exact opposite, I find, like, it sounds so pretentious, but it feels like a betrayal. He's betrayed everything that he stood for.
I didn't see it that way. Like, for example, their latest album, Tranquility Base in Casino, whatever, Hotel and Casino. I personally loved it.
Okay.
Like, I thought it was, okay, it's a massive change.
Yeah.
But I genuinely appreciated the change. I really like this new vibe that they have, like sort of like almost psychedelic kind of rock, and I absolutely loved it. But I see your point. Like, I see your point. I'm trying to find this for another artist who I was like completely disappointed by.
Right.
Shit, I can't find it. Right now on the top.
I had a thing with Jack White's new album. He said, because the thing with Jack White is he established himself as the analog. When you watch that This Might Get Loud documentary with him, Jimmy Page, and The Edge, he said, I'm the analog man and I'm proud of it. And I was like, yes, Jack, you're an analog man and you're proud of it, and you can rock it better than any of these fancy G's that the Edge has got. But now he feels like pressure because people calling him like a old fogey and stuff. So now he made a new album to say that, I'm not afraid of technology, I'm not afraid to experiment, I'm not afraid to go Kanye West. But I was like, but you don't need to. Who are you trying to prove to, Jack? You don't need to prove. If there's someone who don't need to prove themselves to be a genius, it's Jack White. I think
that's the thing. That's the part that gets me annoyed, is like having to prove something to another person, which obviously he doesn't even know, because he's talking about the math. Like, he's talking about the math here. Yeah. So like, sorry, producer, but I had that with Taylor Swift. Like, I genuinely had that with Taylor Swift, because guilty pleasure, like her early country albums, they've been like my childhood, and then all of a sudden she rebrands herself as a pop star.
Yeah.
And personally, her latest album was a complete disaster. Like, I thought it was a complete disaster. Like, trying so hard to prove something to who? Who are you proving that to? This I found interesting. And I was just like, huh?
This I found
interesting. You just started rapping? You were a country singer and you start rapping? And I was just what?
See, I was really curious because I was watching some vlogs and someone went to a Taylor Swift concert just this summer. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this will be interesting to see, because she's like, old Taylor is dead. Yeah. Kill old Taylor. I was like,
and so like strong statements about her old life being gone.
It's done. I hate that girl. It's done. And I was like, what's she gonna do with like her concert then? And then suddenly she started playing Love Story. Take me somewhere we can be. And I was just sitting there. I was like, so she's not dead then.
So she's not dead.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're Beyonce, who you can completely, from the bottom, reinvent yourself into a freaking goddess, then don't do it. Then don't do it. I mean, it's just that, but like, obviously, even back then, I wasn't like a crazy Taylor Swift fan. I just appreciated it because it was the popular music at the time, so you always heard it. But if I was a massive Taylor Swift fan, I would feel like it was a huge knife being stuck in my back. Because
and you know, I don't like this. You see a lot of like you read YouTube comments and stuff. You're like, if you're an old fan, you'd like this stuff. If you're a new fan, you like this stuff. But if you're a true fan, you'd support them no matter what. No, I don't.
That's not
no,
true.
I don't. I like they are producing products. If I like those products, great, good job. I like that. I'm a big fan of it. Produce something I don't like, I hate it. Jack White, he's my man. He is my man.
This can be a debate one day.
Was Taylor Swift genuine? Yes or no? Comment down below.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, Jack White's my man. If everyone asks me who's my favorite musician, and I can't say it on the top of my head, Jack White's always a go-to, along with Tom Waits and Nick Cave. But that new album, that was shit. It was trash.
I feel you so bad.
Trash.
Like, honestly, you have that with so many. Like, I don't know why right now I can't think of any, like, oh, it's gonna be a basic example. Britney Spears.
I don't even know.
Britney started out as Princess of Pop, sure.
Yeah. She got the whole virgin thing going on.
She had, like, a huge, amazing career. And then, I don't know, maybe it was something that had to do with age, and she had to prove everybody that she could still do the thing. She could still do the pop thing. And she went into some weird, trashy EDM shit. And you're just like...
I don't think that was even her decision. I feel like that was like her producers or something.
I think maybe the producers were going for Madonna. Dude, Madonna can do whatever she wants. Because she got to a certain moment in her career where, like, I mean, she will own whatever shit she does.
You know that...
But it's just like, you know, like, if you can't do it, don't.
Yeah, it's really funny.
We're really going off topic, actually.
No, this is on topic. this is on topic.
We're talking about debuts.
Okay,
debuts and what they lead to.
Yeah, debuts. So when you look back at things, because one of my favorite bands is the Fratellis. And their first album was such a specific sound that they managed to pull a whole album out of it. But you know that sound is such a good sound, but you can't sustain a career on that sound alone. And so they evolve, and there are some core things they still keep. But obviously, not every album can sound like the first album, because that sound of the first album is impossible to sustain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I really appreciate it. But like, some people can't accept it. Some people just go, oh, it's not as good as the first album.
They have that with Gorillaz right now, too.
Yeah, but the Gorillaz is...
Ever since Humans got out last year, they started to go like, oh, but they changed. Oh, they're going into weird experimental stuff.
But the thing is, the Gorillaz has always been experimental.
Exactly! That's my point.
Yeah. See, I do have specific Gorillaz sounds that I prefer more than others.
Okay.
But this is an experimental band from get-go. They're an animated band. It's experimental from the get-go.
Exactly.
So you can't say that.
And genuinely, like, this latest album, you know, the one that came out this summer, amazing. I personally thought it was really good and way better than Humans last year.
That, personally, it's not my thing, the new album, but I'm not surprised by it. And I don't understand why people are.
Oh, yeah. I feel you on that one.
Anyway, before we run out of time, shall we get Daria around? Because I think she also has a debut that she wants to talk about really quickly.
Debut music.
Come on, quickly,
Miss
Daria. Miss Producer. Squeeze one in really quickly before we wrap this up. Who's the debut?
Who's the debut? So I've been to a Dodie concert not long ago. In I think it was around March or April.
Okay.
Anyway, she came for the first time in Cambridge, and she had this opening act with this lovely lady called Fenne Lily, which just launched her album in April.
Okay.
And she's amazing. If you know Daughter, do you know the band Daughter?
Yeah.
So she like kind of has the same sort of indie vibe, and it's like really nice. And
I like Daughter.
Genuinely, like, I've listened to her music, and I don't know how, but seeing her on stage, and she was like so genuine, I cried. I started to cry.
Daria.
And I don't cry at stuff, but I cried. I don't know. I just connected to her music, and the crowd was so insane in Cambridge. Like, we were singing and dancing, and we took our flashlights out, and she was like so happy. And she like started to open up to us and be vulnerable and stuff. So shout out to her. She's amazing. Check her out.
Yeah,
Lily.
She is cool. Find her on Spotify and all that stuff, because it's nice. It's nice. That's the debut I wanna talk about. Yeah.
Awesome.
gonna go back.
Speaking of changing genres,
Right.
debuts, I am very, very scared for First Man.
Damon, we're back to we've gone full circle. We're
back to Damon Chazelle.
I heard great things about it though.
Yeah, I heard great things about it, but it's a massive change in the genre.
It is.
Like he always goes for like musical.
It's a massive change for Reynolds as well.
Massive change for Reynolds too.
Reynolds there are quite several massive changes in his career, but this is a massive change.
Taking on biopics.
Yeah.
Taking on like serious biopics.
Oh yeah, and there was that weird controversy about it not being American enough and stuff because they didn't want to show the flag, and I was
weird.
like, oh.
White American supremacists stuff. Just like what?
Yeah. No, I don't think you should be nervous about that.
I'm just like I don't know.
It should be good.
Because he gave a hand to like a different genre because he wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane.
What, Damon Chazelle?
He wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane. And my point exactly, I think it was one of the worst Cloverfield movies ever.
Wait, have you seen the third one? Apparently
the
Cloverfield Paradox was worse.
No, I loved it.
Really? I haven't seen Paradox. I liked 10 Cloverfield. I didn't understand why it had to be in the Cloverfield universe.
Yeah.
By itself. I thought
we'll see in the next Cloverfield film.
Okay.
Because it'll link all.
Because I thought the second one, I thought the 10 Cloverfield Lane, it was a fine little nugget of like that genre of being trapped in one place. I thought it did. Well, I enjoyed it.
I think Paradox. I liked it.
Really, I haven't watched Paradox because I got nervous because everyone said it was trash, so I didn't.
I mean, it's still trash because it's Cloverfield.
Okay, now we're going off topic.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it's wrapping up time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching our very first episode. Apologies massively if we waffled a lot or if things just looked...
So this is basically what our episodes are going to be like. Roughly. We're going to be rambling on about stuff.
And if you enjoy it, then join us again next time.
Like our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page for updates, special content sometimes. For example, we have a behind the scene video right now of our first production meeting. If you want to see how we work, how we interact at home and weird domestic places, just check it out.
And also, if you're really nice, you can all follow us individually to see what we all individually get up to. Yemi posts a lot of very cool photos.
Yeah. We have all of our infos.
Yeah, and all our shout-outs and all our references.
And all the shout-outs, all the references.
Down below. And thanks, Daria, behind the scene. She's also
a woman behind the camera.
Give Daria some love, because we love her. And she's great. Come here, Daria. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Hi.
Thank you so much, Daria.
It's our first time doing a podcast, so if it's not perfect, we're sorry. We're learning.
Please be nice.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I'm also tired and had like 5 breakdowns or 50 breakdowns. I lost count.
Okay.
So I'm really tired.
Send Daria good vibes. Send Daria good vibes. Anyway, thank you very much.
Don't forget to be niche, guys.